Well, welcome back to the channel. My name is Mike, and I have another pair of Ariats on the channel. That's right, another pair. And this one I've been looking to get on the channel ever since I got my Roughout Benchmade boots. I've been looking to get another pair of Roughouts. Now, those are them right there in the background. They have, to this day, become my most favorite pair of boots. And I have exotics, I have all kinds of different boots, but they have become my favorite pair of boots. So I have a new pair of Roughouts on the channel from Ariat, and I'm excited to get them on my feet this day. To this day! So let's jump in with the unboxing process. As I do that, check out that box. It's a little ripped, and it's a little ripped. So the reason why they're ripped is because this is the second time I purchased from this seller, and this seller on Amazon puts the boot box inside of one of those shipping bags. So undoubtedly, as it gets tossed around, this box gets destroyed. So not very good. Woo! Right off the bat, this leather smell, yes, this one is an intoxicating leather smell, is strong, strong, strong. I'm telling, every time, man, you see me on this channel, every time I pull out a pair of boots that I've been looking forward to getting, I get excited when I pull this guy out. Man, it is strong. And yes, we are talking about the Ariat Futurity Showman in the Roughout. And we're talking about the tan color. I reviewed the black pair. This is the tan color, and oh boy, I love this color. All right, take a look. These are some good looking boots. I mean, I always say that, but again, if I'm purchasing a pair of boots, or if a boot company is sending me a pair of boots and they're saying, you pick, I'm gonna pick the ones I like. Yeah, I purchased these with my own money. So let's get down to the brass tacks. What we are dealing with today is Roughout. This Ariat Futurity Showman is a nice Roughout, a nice tan Roughout. Let's see what they call it here. So apparently Ariat is calling this a Dijon Roughout. All that being said, let's jump back into this guy. So we're talking about a nice tan Roughout called the Dijon color. We're talking about a 1 7.5 inch, so 1 3/4 heel, which I love. This cowboy style heel with that huge spur ledge. Love this thing. And it's just the silhouette. It adds to the silhouette of a traditional style cowboy boot in a square toe. So it's not a rounded toe, but it has the silhouette because it's closer to a rounded toe than it is a wide square toe. And we are talking about a cutter toe, single stitch welt. If you're familiar with the channel, you know I'm talking about single stitch welt is so classy. So in my opinion, this is a classy looking boot all the way around. And again, Roughout. It's hard to damage or make a Roughout look ugly. So keep in mind that Futurity boots are $289 list price, MSRP. And so I was able to find these for $150 and some change, $156 or something weird like that on Amazon.com. So yeah, I went ahead and bought them. And like I said, in the unboxing, you know, this seller just kind of throws them in a bag and sends them to you. And this is not the first pair that I've purchased from them. Side trip. So let's continue. Now we're talking about a full leather outsole. We're talking about that tech step. And if you don't know what the tech step is, it's basically, it is a leather outsole with this nailed into the bed of the footbed, which is an additional piece of foam. So what you do get in this, now check this out. I already put my own shaft shapers in them. This is kind of like, you can get this on Amazon. And what it is it's just a nice rigid piece of plastic that you can put in there. One of the main companies that used to do it was Boot Shapers. I'm not sure if they're around anymore. That's what I searched out on Amazon. I didn't find them on Amazon, so I ended up getting this. These are great. And I bought a nice large pack of them. Now, so what you get is you get this excellent Pro Performance Ariat insert, right? As you already know, Ariat is renowned for their inserts and their nice, soft, foamy inserts. It's not too bad. It's not as thick and as heavy as some of the other Ariat ones, but that is okay, especially with these boots because, like I just said, it's this foam nailed into the bed of the foot. So on top of this leather, you're gonna have this foam stacked on top of it, and then this on top of that. So we're talking about extremely comfortable, foamy, bouncy boots. So this is perfect for me because this is how I like to wear these boots. I like to wear them, you know, as daily drivers, especially a pair of Roughout, right? These are not exotics. So these are something that I would wear every day. I don't like to wear my exotics every day. I like to wear my exotics to special occasions, right? If I'm going to church and I'm dressing up, you know, you're going to a wedding or a funeral, you're taking your wife out on a date on the town and you want to look good. But for everyday use, I still want to look good. But I wanted something that's more useful, more average, more something that I could take out and it looks good, but it could also take a beating, and that's why I wanted Roughout. So I am absolutely ecstatic about this style. As you can tell, I think I've covered pretty much everything. Lastly, what's on the innards? We are talking about leather all the way inside and out. So we're talking about a leather shaft on the inside. We're talking about a leather counter, at least a leather counter cover. And then we're talking about leather in the inside of the vamp. So the innards are fully leather and they look fantastic. So I obviously really like these boots as I've been gushing over them for the last few minutes. I think it meets all my standards when it comes to like being as close as to those Benchmade boots. Now, Benchmade boots are made to just another level of quality. And if you haven't tried any and you have the budget for them, get into them because they are on a whole nother level. This is that leather slurry type of thing. I forgot what it's called, but what it is basically is when you're making these boots, you end up shaving a lot of leather off of like the soles and all these other things when you're creating it. So you take those shavings and the leather sawdust when you're sanding them down, and you create this kind of a slurry and you compress it all together and you make this. So it's still a leather heel, but it's not a leather stacked heel. The point I'm trying to make here is this is just a step under the Benchmade boots, but they're still fantastic, man. And I think that they're so close, I don't mind, especially paying the price that I was able to find. Being that these guys are priced at $289, you're paying for all the leather, like I said, that's already in here. You can call me an Ariat fanboy if you want to, but as you can tell from the boots behind me, it's not all Ariat. I definitely have reviewed, you know, my fair share of Ariats. I'm showing the boxes back there. I have reviewed my fair share of Ariats, and there's a reason for that. I like Ariat. Ariat makes good boots. They definitely are an industry standard, and I think that they're one of the best in the business. And I know that a lot of people and a lot of reviewers have kind of looked on Ariat as, they're not that great. They're okay. I think that they are great. And then when you keep poking the sleeping bear or the sleeping giant, which they're a giant in the industry, you keep poking them, you're messing with them, and eventually that sleeping bear, that sleeping giant's gonna wake up. And thus was born the Futurity lineup and then the Benchmade lineup, which I think are some of the best boots I've ever. Again, they're my favorite pair of boots. Of all the boots that I have, they are my favorite pair of boots. Tecovas is a great pair of boots as well, but I really love that pair right there, and it's the combination of everything that's in it. So I'm talking a lot, and it seems to be like where it's gone lately on my channel. So let's get these things on feet. This is the on-foot portion of the Ariat Futurity Showman in the tan Roughout. Whoo boy, look at these boots on feet. Now I know I wore the right color of jeans because this looks fantastic. Man, goodness gracious, these look great. I love the fact that these look so damn good. Yeah, it's just a nice color, and I hope it's not blending too much into the carpet for you guys, but this looks great. I mean, I just love, look at that narrow square toe. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about when I was talking about just, you know, that cutter toe, that nice tall heel on these Roughouts, and the fact that they are Roughouts. It's just, everything is fantastic. These might be shaping up to be one of my favorite pairs of boots because, man, they do look excellent. Look at this, man. Oh. So these that I didn't talk about during the review on the table is that these are a size 13D. Now, why did I order a 13D? Simply because the other Roughouts that I was talking about, and I'll even show you here, these Roughouts here are a size 13D that I purchased last year. And as I said in the review, they're a those are a pair of my most favorite pairs of boots. And so I knew, because they're Roughout and they're just nice and soft and pliable, that I would be able to, that I would be okay with these. And so even though these are a little bit tighter, these don't fit like some of the other Ariats. And it could just be that the other Ariats that I have purchased in the past that were too tight on the instep for me were the ones that were made in China. Because these ones and the Benchmade ones, they don't give me too much of a problem. They are a little snug, but they're not that bad. And as I've broken in the other ones, they're just fine now. They don't give me a problem. And I can already feel right here, right out the gate, they're not that bad. All that being said though, these are some fantastic looking boots. How could you not like this? This is fantastic. All right, that's it for the on-foot portion. Well folks, that is my review for these boots. I gotta say, if you have been enjoying this resurgence of a more narrow toe like myself, these boots are the ones for you. This cutter toe and single stitch welt is really what I love, because it's the best of both worlds. It is a square toe, but it's not too wide. Single stitch welt, it can be dressy, it could be casual, like I just showed you with my jeans. It's fantastic. So I am absolutely happy about my purchase with these boots, and I hope that this really helped you in your purchasing decision. All right, that's all I have for you, and I will see you on the next one.